Welcome to the COVID Caution School Fantasy Football League, and tonight we have a fascinating encounter between Pasty United and Hardley Athletic. My name is John McNamara. With me tonight, I'm delighted to announce, from Fences Lane Bastards, we have Derek Sims. Welcome, Derek. Would you listen to yourself for a moment, John? Your name's not Derek Sims, it's Derek Sim. We're completely different people. Are you kidding me? I certainly do, Derek. Let's move on to tonight's lineups. Lining up for the home team, we have in goal Colin Larrigan. He's a solid player. He's got a bit of Scottish blood in him, don't you know? I'm sure that's not the only thing that Colin has inside of him. In front of Colin Larrigan, we have the return of Daniel Blunston. And Blunston is returning from his 1 week suspension after getting sent off the previous week against the King and Kippers. It's classic English recklessness. Indeed, Derek. Lining up above Larrigan and Blunston in midfield, we have Lee Kramer, who has played a little bit out of position last week against the Box Badgers. John, they did not get going against the Badgers last week. They barely got out of first gear, fresh off their 2-0 defeat against the Badgers. Returning to midfield alongside Kramer, we have Richard Ogilvie Rob. You know what you're getting with Rob. He'll give you 110% every time. We can expect both Kramer and Rob to work extremely hard in the midfield area. And in fairness, they'll probably need to, as above them they have Tommy Laver, not known for his high work rate, but he is known for his finishing. He can give the ball a fair wee lick, can he, John? That's right, Derek. But with Chris Fear above him, maybe he won't need to. He'll be a danger for them. If he can turn the number of birds fingered into goals, he'll be doing all right. I suppose he does need to remember that while any hole is a goal, not any goal is a hole. And with that being said, let's look at the away team's lineup today. There were some surprises in today's team sheet. Your own brother Derek seems to have been dropped for this game, despite scoring a 40-yard screamer last week. So we surprised that, John. I can see why you'd be dropping Sims after a game like that. Well, it looks like there may have been tactical reasons for Colin being dropped from the starting six. For the first time this season in goal, we see Dean Bonehead Norris is taking his place in between the stanchions. And protecting Norris in goal, we have Sam Perry on the left of a two-man defence, and alongside him and making his debut tonight, it's Stephen Myers. The manager must be off his head if he thinks that Smears is going to do a better job than Sims at the back. You may well be right there, Derek. Moving on into midfield, we have a strong midfield duo of Joey Pritchard and Matthew Saunders. It's a funny one for me, that. Matt the Cat's been great in goal, and now you're going to put Bonehead Norris in between the sticks. It does seem to be mostly a tactical decision, allowing Saunders to play in midfield alongside Pritchard, and hoping that they'll be able to feed their number 9, Daniel McCabe. What a player McCabe is. He's scoring goals left, right and centre. He's a danger for the defence, and he'll be one to watch tonight. I couldn't agree more, Derek. Now both sets of players are making their way onto the pitch here at Basil Hill Barracks. Do you expect home advantage to play a big role in tonight's proceedings? We can hardly deny travel well. It's too far away from their pies. I can see them getting a result tonight. The teams are lining up for the pre-match photos and for the national anthem. O flower of Scotland, who came before. It seems that Derek has put his own unique twist onto the national anthem. United Kingdom, Great Britain. Not Scotland, you wee Raj. Not Scotland. Never. But the anthem's done. It's time for the teams to kick off. And it's Hardley Athletic to kick off. Dan McCabe plays it back to Pritchard. Pritchard finds Myers. Myers being closed down quickly now. Richard Robb pressuring Myers onto his weak left foot. And Myers can do nothing more than bundle the ball off for a throw-in. Robb takes a throw-in quickly. Robb to Laver. Laver back to Robb. Robb cuts inside of Myers, who doesn't seem to be able to keep up with the pace of the initial proceedings. Robb plays it on to Laver. Laver in a bit of space. He's got Fear on the outside. He looks up. He tries to find Fear, but he's overhit the pass, and the move whittles out. Great start though, Derek. Hey, what a start from Pasty United. They've really shown the intensity that they need to go on with.
Well, true though. Now we have Harvey breaking the ball. Perry finds Pritchard. Pritchard cuts the ball inside Saunders. It's his first touch of the match. He does well with it. He finds McCabe. McCabe, little jink there. Cuts inside of Blunson, but Blunson gets back
And it'll just be a throw-in for Pasty United. Saunders with the ball, just inside the opponent's centre midfield. Looks up, finds McCabe. McCabe looks out to the wing, finds Pritchard in a little bit of space now. Pritchard, little step over there. It does Rob. Rob's on his backside. He comes inside. He has a go. Oh, and that's tested the keeper, but unfortunately straight at him. Larrigan sniffed that up like a line of cocaine. There's no way that's getting past him. Indeed, Colin, it's not like Larrigan to allow a sniff of the white stuff to sniffle past him. But a good opening period here from Hardly Athletic as they dominate possession in the opponent's third and look to really push back Pasty United, who in fairness to them absorbed the pressure well. I think it's a dangerous game that Hardly are playing. They're pushing into the opponent's half, but when you've got Myers and Perry and the lack of pace that they've got at the back, I'm sure they're going to get exposed. Now we have Myers playing a quick 1-2 with Perry as he saunters forward on the left-hand side. He's got Rob in front of him, and rather than go past Rob, he's played the ball back to Perry. Perry's looked up, he's found Saunders, who's having a quietly effective game in the central midfield. Saunders looks up, finds McCabe. McCabe, he's being in a bit of a tussle there with Blunson, but he manages to shrug him aside. He's bearing down on goal. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Oh, what a save by Larrigan. The man can need finish as haggis. How's he got and not found the back of the net with that strike? Well, Larrigan was out of his goal super quickly there, and he closed down the angles until it made it very difficult for McCabe to find a way past him. Great work by the goalkeeper, but good play from Hardly Athletic. There's been one-way pressure so far, and here we are again with Saunders to Pritchard in the middle. And Pritchard, he looks up. He finds Perry, who's really picking up a head of steam there down the left wing. Blunson comes over to deal with the danger. Perry cuts inside on his right foot. He looks up, he tries to play. Oh no, not the right foot of Sam Perry. And unfortunately, the ball has ricocheted. Pretty unfortunately, it seems to have come off the backside of Blunson and back into the groin area of Sam Perry, who's now lying on the floor. The game doesn't stop there though. Blunson takes the ball forward. He's past his own halfway line. Myers is running back to help. Blunson finds Rob, who's in a bit of space here. Defence is a little unorganised. Rob striding forward. Rob, this looks dangerous here. He's got Fear to one side, Laver on the other. He looks up, he finds Laver in a bit of space. Goal! The ball's in the back of the net with devastating speed, and Pasty United have taken the lead against the run of play here. Derek, I can't believe it. I just looked away for a minute and I looked back and it's 1-0 to Pasty United. I can see what even happened. It was wonderful work from Blunson initially to dispossess Perry, who's still lying motionless on the floor in the opposition half. He then finds Rob striding into space, and with deceptive turn of pace, he's managed to run away from Myers. He's looked up, he's got Fear on one side, he's got Laver on the other. He chooses Laver, and for Laver, gives the keeper absolutely no chance. 1-0, Pasty United. They've not had much of the ball in the first half, to be fair, but they've always looked like they've got a bit of speed on the counter, and so it's proven. 1-0, Pasty United. And it's important that Hardly Athletic don't let heads drop, and they come back again at Pasty United. That's a real kick in the balls, just like Sam Perry just got. You're dominating the game. You've got Saunders and Pritchard busting it in midfield, and then something like that happens. Now Mr. Smith is on the field now. He's got the sponge and the bucket, and he's run over to Sam Perry, who's still on the floor, And he's vigorously applying the magic sponge to Sam Perry's private regions. And that seems to have done the job. Sam Perry is up on his feet. He looks a little bit startled, to be honest. And he is running back now to his own half. Play will resume very shortly. And indeed it does, with McCabe playing the ball back to Saunders, who looks up and finds Myers. Myers almost makes a meal of that. He manages to find Perry in the end, and Perry looks all too keen to pass the ball on to Pritchard. Pritchard looks up, finds McCabe. McCabe just inside the opposition half. He's running forward, and the ball whittles out. The ball's back now with Bonehead Norris, who throws the ball out to Sam Perry. Tommy Laver seems to have slacked off a little bit in the last few minutes and is not pressing down Perry as he moves the ball forward at some pace. Perry is past his own halfway line. Rob comes over. He shows a bit of too much of the ball to Rob there, but he's got the ball past him. He's in a bit of space now. He looks up, swings a deep cross into the opposition's half, and at the back post there's McCabe! Goal! He's chested the ball down and buried it with his outside of his right foot. What a finish from McCabe, and no less than I'd expect from the man. And no less than Harley Athletic deserve after an encouraging first half performance. With nearly 30 minutes gone, the score is 1-1, and we've got one hell of a game on our hands. I can see Harley really taking the game to Pasty from this point on. Keep on trying to beat the men out wide, make advantage of the extra man that they have at the back, and they should be the winners of this game.
Pasty United have responded well since conceding the equaliser. The midfield trio of Laver, Kramer and Rob really beginning to take hold of the game. Now, Kramer with the ball. He's got Rob in front of him. Kramer's got Rob on the inside. He's got Fear making the overlap. Chooses Rob. Rob now with the ball. And a little bit of space now. He's not being closed down quickly. Smears finally comes over, so close down Rob. Rob shrugs him off. Rob, head up. He finds Fear in a little bit of space now. Fear beats the man. Fear one-on-one. Fear! Goal! 2-1 to Pasty United. And what a move there by Chris Fear and Richard Ogilvie. Rob, Pasty United are on fire. It's like taking candy from a baby. It doesn't even look fair that you're going to have Richard and Rob playing against Smears. Smears can barely run. The man's got a broken leg. It's like leaving a paedophile in a quarantine zone for children. And Richard Rob, like his namesake at Bannockburn, has taken the English out to dry there. There's blood on the floor, and the blood is the blood of the Smears. What was the manager thinking, picking Smears at right back? Indeed, Smears does seem to be a little bit off the pace in today's match. Now we have Harley Athletic pinging the ball around between midfield and McCabe. Just before half time now. And there we have it, half time. It's been an entertaining first half. Score is 2-1 to Pasty United. So the second half is just about to begin. Score is 2-1. Richard Ogilvie Rob with 2 assists, one for Tommy Laver and one for Chris Fear. While for Harley Athletic, Daniel McCabe with a gorgeous finish on the outside of his right boot. But since then, he's struggled to get in the game against Daniel Blunston, who's been imperious at the back. Now Pasty United will kick off. The ball's back with Tommy Laver now. And Tommy Laver looks up. He finds Rob, who's had a very good game so far. Rob plays a ball back to Blunston. Blunston finds Laver in a bit of space. Cuts in on the inside left. Laver not moving fast, but when he's moving well and efficiently. And he finds Fear. Fear, about 30 yards out. Fear, a little bit of space. He looks up. It's about 30 yards out. He has a go. Oh, good save there by Bonehead Norris. It was a swerving drive from all of 30 yards out. but Norris was equal to the task. Good save. The last 15 minutes or so since the restart has been all Pasty United. The midfield trio of Kramer, Rob and Lever really beginning to dominate the game. And it's Kramer now. Kramer looks up, tries to play the ball forward. In the end he can't, he goes back. And the ever-present Daniel Blunson is there to play the ball forward. He plays it back to Kramer. Kramer looks up, he finds Rob. Rob's been magnificent today, he's been everywhere. Rob finds Lever. Lever's in a dangerous position now, where he likes to be. Final third of the opposition's half, facing the goal. Chris is making an interesting run to the front. He finds Chris, he finds Fear. Fear in space now. Fear pulls the trigger. Goal! 3-1 now to Pasty United. And what a finish and what a game by Chris Fear, who picks up his second goal of the afternoon. And Rob, Kramer and Fear have gone off to the side of the pitch. It seems to be a choreographed dance move there. They're doing, I think it might be Drake's, the Toosie slide. Yep, they're sliding to the left and they're sliding to the right. Oh, but Evans is not pleased. Evans has gone over to the three of them celebrating in front of the home crowd, and he's given them all yellow cards for doing the Toosie slide. What were they thinking? Hey, they put their left toe up and they slid, and then they put their right toe up and they slid right behind it. There's no room for that in the game. I couldn't agree more with you there, Derek. It's completely disrespectful to the opposition, and I think a yellow card is a right result. Hardy Athletic now, kicking off. It's been a bit of a tough second half for them so far. They've really failed to get in the game. McCabe has barely touched the ball since his finish in the first half, and the midfield have been unable to supply decent ball in good areas to him. And that's the reason why they're losing. And any team that picks Smears in its starting six is always going to have problems. Smears has not played too badly today, but he's been outclassed by the opposition midfield and strike force as well. It doesn't help that Smears is massively overweight and has a broken leg that he's never fully recovered from. Now, Smears has the ball and he manages to find Perry. Perry manages to get the ball forward. I really can't say that too often this half. Just Saunders, who started well but has gone off the boil somewhat. Saunders to Pritchard. Pritchard striding forward. He's had a decent game today. Pritchard looks to find McCabe, but Blunson is all over him, and that's a free kick to Hardly Athletic. They're about 30 yards out, and Blunson's standing over the ball. The referee's gone over to speak to Blunson. Is he going to give him a yellow card for slowing down the play? No, just a word of warning, but what's this? Bonehead Norris has come charging out from his own goal. He's run the full 60 metres to come over, and he's pushing his head up against Blunson, who's much taller and looks much harder than he does. And the referee's got no choice. Mr. Evans brandishes a yellow card at Bonehead Norris, who has acted like a bonehead and got himself a needless booking there. Now McCabe to strike the ball. He's got one hell of a run up. He steadies himself. Oh, straight off the wall and out for a throw-in. Well, it looked to me like it was on target, and if that ball had got past the wall, I'm sure it would have been bulging in the back of the net. That's one very relieved looking Larrigan. He looks like a cat who's got the cork, doesn't he? He does indeed. Meanwhile, Norris still making his way back to the goal. He's taking his time there, and play's not slowed down. The throw-in's been taken quickly by Kramer, who finds Rob. And Rob sprints forward now, smears out of position. He finds Lever. Lever didn't really leave the central midfield space, so he's still there waiting for it. Meanwhile, Fear is making a run past him, showing a lot of energy today. He's looking for his third goal. Now, Lever. Lever has a go. He takes the ball past Perry. Perry, who's never really recovered from taking a ball to the balls early on in the game, is left behind Labour. And to lose out on a battle of pace with Labour is remarkable, to say the least. Labour brings the ball forward. He's got space now. Perry still trying to catch up with Labour. Labour, is he going to go for goal? No, he lays the ball across, and Fear with the simplest of tap-ins. 4-1 to Pasty United, and this is becoming something of a rout, Derek. We've been taken to pieces today, John. The decision to put Myers and Perry at the back has really backfired, and all I can say is I hope it's not more. Hardly Athletic look a broken team. And yes, it seems that heads have dropped a little bit here. It's hardly Athletic. Make their way slowly back up the pitch to kick off. And the score's now 4-1 to Pasty United. Norris with the ball. He's not had a great game today at the back, but he's had little in the way of protection from Smears and from Perry. Norris has still got the ball. He's not being closed down though. Labour's still not moved. And slowly Labour makes his way towards Bonehead Norris. And Norris takes the opportunity to find Perry. Perry, who after his assists and the knocks the balls, has also had a quiet game. Perry finds Saunders, who started so well this afternoon and has since faded a little bit as the day has gone on. Perhaps a lack of match fitness after the first 2 games in goal is beginning to tell. But here's Saunders. Saunders finds Pritchard. And Pritchard finds McCabe. McCabe now. 1-on-1 against Blunston. He's got a little bit of space here. He wriggles round Blunston, but Blunston, what a challenge there. And McCabe looks like he's got round the outside of him, only for Blunston's arching challenge around his legs to hook the ball beyond him, and a perfect challenge from what today has been a perfect centre-back. Great play. He's been unreal at the back today, John. Absolute rock. And we're in the last few moments of the game, and it's ceased to be more than a training ground exercise ever since that 4th goal went in. There's Kramer. Kramer finds Rob. And what a game he's had today. Rob to Labour. Labour back to Rob. And Rob plays that all the way back to Larrigan. And there we have it. The final whistle here at Basil Hill Barracks. The home team, Pasty United, have triumphed 4-1 against an out of shape and out of sorts Hardly Athletic. Final thoughts for today, Derek.
You've got Myers at the back, you've got Perry at the back, you've got no chance. I think the manager needs to have a long, hard look in the mirror and say, who am I trying to play? You can leave a good Scotsman at home on the bench. It's ridiculous. Man of the match for me today has got to be Chris Fear. Hat-trick hero from the man. He's been everywhere. He's been fantastic. Great game, Fear. And that's all that we have time for in today's broadcast. Thank you very much for joining us. And for all the team here, good night and God bless.